Metro Manila and 38 other areas throughout the country will see coronavirus restrictions downgraded to the least restrictive level on Tuesday, March 1, nearly 2 years after the pandemic shuttered the Philippines. Acting Presidential Spokesperson Carlo Nograles announces Alert Level 1 takes effect from March 1 until March 15. The relaxation of quarantine restrictions comes as COVID-19 infections in the Philippines continue to decline, with nationwide case numbers staying below the 2,000 range in the past week. Officials had been eyeing to shift the metropolis to Alert Level 1 since December 2021, but were forced to delay after the highly contagious Omicron variant drove a record surge in infections. Under Alert Level 1, establishments and public transportation will be fully operational. There are also no restrictions in place on the movement of people from different age groups, though this is subject to specific rules that may vary among local government units. An empty podium and several unanswered questions make the absence of frontrunner Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. more apparent at the CNN Philippines presidential debates. Because of his absence, the son of the late dictator was unable to answer what he was doing during the pandemic. He was also unable to explain why he ran for president despite saying in 2016 that he would not. Marcos and his team have been pushing for a unity campaign and encouraging positive messages. CNN Philippines gave the other bets the opportunity to criticize Marcos Jr., but only Vice President Leni Robredo grabbed the opportunity.
Yung number one ingredient din ng leadership, aside from character, is you show up in the most difficult times. Pag hindi ka mag-show up in the most difficult times, hindi ka leader.
Other candidates played it safe and avoided pointing out Marcos's absence. But when Jose Montemayor confronted labor leader Leody de Guzman with allegations of corruption within labor groups, he compared Montemayor to Marcos Jr.
Akala ko absent si Marcos. Nandito pala. Ay, na wala nang pinuri kundi mga kapitalista at wala nang kinagalitan kundi ang mga manggagawa. Kaya dinudurog ang hanay ng mga manggagawa. Sinisiraan ang mga manggagawa at pinupuri yung mga kapitalista.
Senators Manny Pacquiao and Panfilo Lacson kept their focus on platforms and track record and did not address Marcos's absence in the debates. Labor leader Leody de Guzman was able to highlight key issues, particularly workers' wages and prices of goods. Vice President Leni Robredo was a standout as she cited the well-praised initiatives of her office within the 90-second time limit.
Need more context, clarity, and perspective? Get the full picture with Rappler Plus. With exclusive content and events, you'll get an opportunity to discuss issues with reporters, experts, and featured guests, while helping Rappler continue its fearless journalism. Join now.
A Baguio court orders the Commission on Elections, including its regional office in the Cordillera Administrative Region, to cease and desist from implementing Comelec Resolution 10732 for 72 hours. The resolution details the guidelines under the new normal for the 2022 electoral campaign. It mandates that physical campaigning requires prior approval of campaign committees at the Commission on Elections. Executive Judge of the Baguio Regional Trial Court Ligaya Itliong Rivera directs the poll body to refrain from requiring volunteers and volunteer groups to apply for a permit for the conduct of any election campaign activity. The decision stems from a petition filed by supporters of Vice President and Presidential bet Leni Robredo last February 28. The court issued the decision on the same day. Comelec spokesperson James Jimenez says he has not yet seen the TRO and is not sure if the regional court has jurisdiction over the Comelec. The United States imposes a slew of sanctions on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, targeting its central bank, major lenders, and President Vladimir Putin. Moves to block some Russian banks from the SWIFT global payment system and freeze the Bank of Russia's reserves are expected to deal a severe economic blow. US-based United Parcel Service and FedEx Corporation, two of the world's largest logistics companies, also say they are halting delivery service to Russia and Ukraine. The governors of a handful of US states also ordered government-run liquor stores to stop selling Russian-made vodka and distilled spirits in solidarity with Ukraine. Several tech companies also make their move. Google confirms it has temporarily disabled for Ukraine some Google Maps tools which provide live information about traffic conditions and how busy different places are. Japan's Rakuten Group says it is removing advertising from its Viber messaging service in Ukraine, but says it won't block the service in Russia as requested by Kyiv. In a statement released Sunday, February 27, Rakuten says this move is to ensure that no one will profit from activity on our app at this time. Rakuten also makes Viber out calls to landlines and mobile phones in 34 countries free for users in the region. Meanwhile, the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs says at least 13 more Filipinos were evacuated from Ukraine on Sunday. Blackpink's Rosé cancels some of her scheduled activities outside South Korea after she tested positive for COVID-19. In a statement released Monday, February 28, Blackpink's management YG Entertainment says Rosé took a PCR test before her flight on that day and the results came back positive. Rosé isn't exhibiting any symptoms while the other three Blackpink members, Jisoo, Jennie, and Lisa, tested negative. YG Entertainment also says the 4 members of Blackpink have already completed their COVID-19 vaccination. In November 2021, Blackpink's Lisa tested positive for COVID-19. South Korea currently has an ongoing surge of COVID-19 cases due to the Omicron variant. As of February 28, South Korea has reported a total of 3.1 million cases after almost 140,000 new daily cases were confirmed.